So the concept of an inconvenient truth is very, very near and dear to my heart because I personally have struggled with everything that I'm going to bring up in this video. So please know, if you are having a difficult time with any of this, my heart goes out to you because chances are I've been in your shoes to some extent. If you have a difficult truth, a lot of times they come up in readings and I struggle because when I'm channeling what people's spirit guides are saying to them from the other side, there's not a whole lot of compassion or sympathy for these people because the other side isn't that understanding when you have these perceived obstacles to truth, because soul's growth actually comes from overcoming these particular perceived obstacles. Number one, red tape. Did the invitations for your wedding already go out and you keep having all these dreams and experiencing anxiety and all these gut reactions and just, are you completely riddled with doubt whether or not you're doing the right thing? What are you gonna do? You're probably gonna go through with it because of logistics and because of all the red tape involved of having to cancel a wedding. The problem is if you do end up married and it doesn't work out, you get divorced, and that's even messier. So the other side will argue that this is a short-term pain, long-term gain type of situation where just deal with the headache up front, call off the wedding. They don't care if it's last minute because it's better than entering into this marriage contract and getting a divorce later because your heart wasn't in it to begin with. So a lot of times those, gut reactions that you have aren't just pre-wedding jitters and cold feet. A lot of times it's the other side coming through and saying, don't do it. So I don't want you guys to back away from that. I know that it is a serious pain in the butt, but that's another thing. If something is a pain, if something is a pain, that's another thing. The other side will classify it as short-term pain, long-term gain. The rewards are there. You just have to see the forest through the trees. Moving sucks. If you're unhappy where you live, you have to embrace that truth, and that comes from journaling. So sit down and journal and say, I'm really not happy where I live. I embrace this truth. I ask the other side to please rise up and support me in addressing this truth. That's their job. That's their job. You call in your angels, you call in the divine, you call in everybody. I embrace this truth. I need your help in addressing it. That's what you do, right? Because that's their job. Schooling. If you are pursuing your life purpose and it requires a ton of schooling, that is very inconvenient for you. Maybe you're already established in a different career. Call in your angels. I need help. I need you to bring people onto my path. Money, resources, opportunities, whatever. I need help with this schooling. I embrace this truth. I embrace this path towards my life purpose. And I know it requires schooling, but please, just help me. Just try to make this road smoother for me, you guys, because you're following the path of truth. That's what they're for. You align yourself with truth, you start making deals, right? Because you're doing their part. They need to do theirs, right? So this hand comes down from the clouds. And keep the faith. Know that they are there to help you. So don't have any energetic blocks to receiving that help. Keep the faith. Know that they're there, okay? I want you guys to have this nice, open, receiving energy for that also. Another thing that they're not really big on is legality. And I'm going to use the United States election 2016 as an example. James Comey was investigating Hillary's emails, and then all of a sudden, before November 8th, it was like, okay, everything's fine, investigation's closed, we didn't find anything, everything's cool. Well, the other side is saying that was premature because he was still investigating. He was still on a path of researching truth, and the truth hadn't revealed itself yet. So the problem is the election was fast approaching, and he needed to make a decision. And so the truth of the matter is that it wasn't there. Like, the truth wasn't revealed yet. So the other side is not happy that the American people were ushered into an election on November 8th prematurely, without the truth really being revealed. And so that's where the other side is saying, we call foul and a timeout. November 8th should have been delayed. Now this is going back to the wedding example. You think the other side cares? The legality behind delaying an election? You think they care about the Constitution? They care about truth. Universal So what's the other side doing? They're shaking their head saying you should have delayed that election. And they're saying, do you want it done now or do you want it done right? You should have waited because your election wasn't conducted properly and now you need to have a second one. And as the other side, we're going to make sure you have a second one because the US government wasn't fair to the American people. So the other side is holding them accountable and they're making sure through forces of nature that we end up having a second election. So even legality, even the US Constitution, the other side will find a way to have us have a second one because the first one wasn't conducted properly. Should have delayed it. Should have delayed it. How do you delay an election? You know, what happens on November 8th if the US technically isn't ready for an election? We have to figure it out because that was our truth and it still is our truth. Because the morning of November 8th, when I woke up, there was absolutely zero energy behind that day. The other side does not recognize November 8th as being our election. Number 4, ego. Here's a fun one. I was talking over email to a member of the LGBT community who had lost her entire family when she came out of the closet to homophobia. Entire family. Could she easily go back in the closet and say, never mind, okay, I take it back, I'm ashamed, I'm repenting, whatever, you know, if it's religious or whatever, you know, I'm repenting, whatever, I'm sorry, you know, I'm going back in the closet, I'm not going to live my life that way. She could have backed away from truth easily and tried to, you know, foster that family relationship again since they didn't accept her and they didn't approve of her truth in being a lesbian. Well, what's she doing? She's aligning herself with the dark. What's her family doing? They're aligning themselves with the dark. And she's responding to ego. She's embarrassed. She's ashamed. What are people going to think of me? What are their responses going to be to my truth? That's ego. Overcoming that ego and maintaining her stance and standing behind her truth is going to make her a stronger person. Is she going to suffer? Yeah. Is her heart broken? Yeah. But this is where you're holding the divine's hand because you're pursuing truth. And that's where you call the divine in and you say, help me. My whole family just wrote me off here, dude. I'm all alone. Help me. That's his job. That's his job. You throw the ball in his court, right? Number 5, money. That's another thing. Is, are you married to someone who brings home the bacon and is paying all the bills? Are you sitting there like, I can't divorce this person. If I divorce them, I'm not going to have any money. Forget it. I have news for you. They're watching. The other side's all knowing and it's bad karma. So you, number 1, have a romantic partner that you don't 100% appreciate. And number 2, stay with them for impure intentions. Also known as money. So if somebody's bankrolling your lifestyle, better have pure intentions. You better be in love. Because if you're just using them, they're watching and that's bad karma. So speak your truth, embrace your truth, and get a divorce. Don't stay with somebody for money. You know, again, that's where you throw the ball in their court and say, I'm afraid to get a divorce. I am afraid of my livelihood being affected. Please help me. Please show me the way. Please illuminate the path for me, right? Number 6, timing. This is really fun. Everything happens in divine timing, but I also want you guys to be aware that the other side knows that we have to make certain mental shifts, self-actualizations, self-realizations. We have to come, you know, to these conclusions in our own time. So the other side is fine, you know, with our progress. As long as we're making progress, we can move at a snail's pace. They're very, very understanding when it comes to timing because they're going to look at our progress and they can see all aspects of your soul. So they're going to watch you. Again, as long as you're making progress, that's all they care about. The other side is very, very patient. So a lot of times you guys will trigger the law of attraction in a good way, in a positive way, where you'll attract positive energy to you if you just take baby steps towards your truth. Not dive into the swimming pool head first, but just dip your toe in and just take baby steps. All of a sudden you will feel differently, like you just did something right. Basically, you just did something that is aligned with truth. Now, part of the mental and emotional shifts and managing that process is also managing your fear, right? Fear is the dark. And I want you guys to think about the times in your life where you have overcome your fears and pursued those goals and accomplished them. Is your soul better off for having overcome that fear? Yes, that is soul's growth. So for you to overcome that fear, you have grown from it. You have pursued the light over dark. So fear actually has a function. It is the dark, but the dark actually has a function. And so you're a better person for it. Now, another thing that's super duper annoying for me is that when you are given divine guidance, you're not always provided with reasons for that guidance. They'll just say, do this, do that in readings, and they won't always give you reasons because they'll want blind faith, trust in what they're saying, whatever. Things are going to work out for you in the end, but it requires a leap of faith sometimes. So this is really hard because their attitude is you either trust us or you don't. And so that's where I want you guys to be, just be aware that you're not always going to have reasons for the divine guidance that you receive. A lot of times you'll just get this gut feeling like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just supposed to move. And maybe you have to move for security reasons, right? Well, you're about to get robbed, so we think you should move. It's like, ah! They're probably not going to say that. They're going to try to guide you forward gently, like, okay, we're going to try to poke you. We're going to tickle your feet, make you uncomfortable where you live. Maybe, the drummer next door is going to be working on overtime on his practice. Maybe the dog next door is going to be barking like crazy. Maybe you're going to be really uncomfortable where you currently live. And then they'll just tickle your feet so you leave. But, you might not always get a reason for, God, I just really feel like I should move. They won't always tell you because sometimes it's not for your highest good to know. And then sometimes it's just a leap of faith. Number 9, I want you guys to be very, very aware of your own imagination and the predictions that you are making. Just like logical predictions. Suppose you're an attorney and you're becoming a professional artistic potholder maker. So you are going to walk away from your career. And so your partners are like, you idiot, are you serious? You're walking away from all this money to go sell artistic potholders for a living? And maybe those potholders are your heart. That's your heart-focused work. You're an artist. You're passionate about it. You're excited about it. You're happy because you're protecting people's hands while they're in the kitchen, right? So I just want you guys to be hyper aware of your logical mind making these psychic predictions of what's going to happen. Well, I'm an attorney, so if I start my own potholder business, I'm going to starve. And then you just imagine yourself crashing, burning. You lose everyone's respect. You lose your house, family, whatever, car, right? You imagine all these horrible things. Now, I have personal experience with this, and I can't stress this enough. This is where the other side is actually like, They love it when you pursue your life purpose and take a leap of faith because you're saying, I trust you. Now, what you're doing is you're setting all of these logical predictions aside and you're trusting your intuition. So that strengthens your connection to them because you're strengthening your intuition and your third eye. I really just want you guys to know that they're probably like giggling because everything's going to work out for you and you have nothing to stress about and they're totally going to catch you and you're going to be fine. Maybe your pot, okay, they don't like me saying maybe. They're saying your potholder business is your life purpose. We're going to help you. Universal energies are going to rise up to support you. You're going to attract money to yourself because it's your heart-focused work. You have pure intentions. You care about your designs. You care about making people happy. You care about customer service, whatever. They're saying they have your back. They're saying they're going to catch you. And that's where they want you to set aside those, logical predictions that you're making and be optimistic and be positive about the future and believe in yourself and your own ability to make those potholders so that your legal partners can sit there and be like, dude, did you hear that Frank became a multi-millionaire off those potholders? Can you believe it? Holy crap, huh? We thought he was an idiot. So maybe your friends thought you were a total moron for a couple years and then you rose up like a phoenix rising from the ashes, and you showed them what you could do. Which brings me to my last point, number 10, sandcastle. Are you knocking down your sandcastle to pursue truth? That's the other side's specialty also. That's where you take their hand and you say, okay guys, I'm gonna make a deal with you in exchange for knocking down my entire legal career and pursuing these creative potholders. I want financial abundance, security, happiness, spiritual fulfillment at my core, love, friendships, respect. I want you guys to make your deal with the universe and realize that if you knock down your sandcastle, the other side acknowledges that. And they appreciate that because that's the sacrifice that you made in order to pursue heart-focused work and to shine authentic light and essentially be more genuine. No risks, no rewards. I mean, the other side really, really has your back. And so I think that's another thing that I want to stress is I really want you guys to invite them in. Even with like my diet and stuff, I'll say, hey, my sweet tooth is coming back. Get over here. Need you guys. Come here, diet coaches. And they'll come back in and they'll help me with my self-discipline. And it's just, I don't know, like you have to ask for help a lot of times. And I would love to say you just have to do it once, but I continually do it. I'm always calling them and saying, hey, need help with this, need help with that. Can you guys help me with this? Can you guys help me with that? And they'll step up. They'll step up, but it's kind of like being open to receiving that guidance. So I know this is a tall order, but I don't want you guys to feel like you're all alone either. I want you to know that the divine is holding your hand as long as you're pursuing truth. And the only time the divine can't reach you, he can't hold your hand, is when you don't embrace your truth, when you align yourself with falsities. Because when you align yourself with falsities, you align yourself with the dark, so you're energetically like incompatible for the divine. So he's like trying to reach you and he can't get to you. So in any given situation, taking the road of truth, you know, is going to benefit you no matter what. Even if all this opinion and confusion and emotion is swirling around you in this crazy twister, the truth will always, always, always provide that firm handle for you to grab onto amidst the chaos. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.